The biggest story, even though we're in the holiday season, insecurity continues to hug the headlines, particularly the aftermath of the U.S. airstrikes on Sokoto State. Certain parts of Sokoto said to be the command center of terrorists in Nigeria. We're joined on the program by Mr. Dixon Osaje, MD Debris Protection Services Limited, a security analyst. And we also have Dr. Magaji Umar, a lecturer, Department of Political Science and International Relations at Sokoto State University. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the program. I think I'll begin.
Good morning, Paradise.
Right. I'll begin naturally with Dr. Umar. You're from Jabo, and we imagine that the dust has settled now after the airstrikes. What is the outcome of it, at least for you, residents of that area? What more do you know right now in terms of the figures of terrorists that are probably neutralized, what that has done to security in the state and perhaps that area? This is for you, Dr. Umar, being an indigene yourself.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Yes, please go ahead.
Well, the incident actually took place a few days back, and there was apprehension and a lot of concerns by the residents and even the larger community in the state, given the fact that the intensity of the attack and also the unexpected nature of this kind of attack that actually came, and naturally people will have to actually react in different ways. But then I want to believe that the first-hand information and the contact we've made with our relatives that are there, we found out that it was not actually very serious, because the missiles that actually struck the town actually, struck the outskirts of the town. It didn't actually strike the households or buildings or whatever. And some of the flare-ups that we have actually witnessed was actually witnessed as a result of the flames that actually went up as soon as the missiles actually struck the constructs and the hay packs that are being actually stored outside the community before they have been evacuated to the household for to be used as animal feeds. As you can see, the area is generally agrarian in nature and very remote from local government headquarters in Tambol local government, because Jabo is in the eastern part of the Tambol local government in Sokoto State. And no casualty whatsoever was actually gotten as a result of the incident. And the incident actually took place 35 meters away from the primary health care center of Jabo Primary Health Care Center. And as I said earlier on, any household was touched. Nobody actually suffered any wound or injury as a result of that. And just a few minutes after that, security agencies actually reported to the incident, to the vicinity of the incident. They cordoned up the area and asked the local dwellers not to tamper with anything that is there, because there could be some explosive, materials that have not been actually detonated. And since then, we have not had any report of any incident actually taking place right there. And back to the question that you asked, whether the area is a terrorist or armed bandits, then I want to believe that, of course, like many other parts of the northwestern part of the country, we really have skirmishes or activities of armed bandits or armed groups who are involved in attacking communities, kidnapping people for ransom, and killings also are being reported. But I want to believe that some of the reasons behind these attacks in that particular area has to do with the fact that it is very close to the border with Zamfara State. You know, Jabo is just 25, 30 kilometers away from Gumi local government and Bukum local government from in Zamfara State, where these activities have been intensified over the years. And of course, we have skirmishes of attacks on the roads, like people who are traveling from one place to another, from Jabo to other places for market and other activities that are involved that are not with our people, associated with our people, like naming ceremonies or going to the farms. Have been sometimes reported to have been attacked by one or two of these groups. But all the same, after the incident, we've not had any serious issue.
Right.
Incidents.
Right. So let's take this to Mr. Osagie. For a lot of people, they want to see the outcome of these strikes. Yes, a strike was conducted, yet there's been a lot of different messages depending on who you're asking. Is there collaboration, is there not, and all of that. But primarily, I think what concerns a lot of people is the impact of this on terrorism. It's been days now, we're nearing almost a week now since the strike, but there hasn't been tangible evidence as to how many terrorists were killed, for example. What is the impact of this on the network of terrorists? What we've seen is another suicide attack in a different state since that particular airstrike. So is this typical? Is this what's expected? Or is there something missing for you?
It's not what's expected, and I tell you that the government is leaving the people to, forecast the impact and damage assessment of the Tomahawk bombings in the northwest. Because when an incident like this takes place, what is expected from the government security forces, especially from the defense headquarters, within the first 24 hours, they're supposed to come live and brief the Nigerian people what went right or what went wrong, what was fired, what was not fired, the locality, the locations, number of casualties, and the impact and damage assessment. But here, up to today, we've not heard anything from the federal government in the area of the impact assessment of the Tomahawk precision missile, because I think that that's another failure again from our GSF, Government Security Forces, because they must not leave Nigerians to decide or to start forecasting, and that's why you started getting different information. Some are saying there was high number of killings. Some people are saying there are no killings. Some people are saying there are no casualty. Some people are even mocking the Americans that they just wasted their Tomahawk. Some are saying that they spend a lot of billions and they aim no targets. There was no target. For me, the Tomahawk is a precision-driven missile. Each shot of a Tomahawk is about 3.5 billion naira Nigerian money, and I'm aware they shot about 12 Tomahawk, which amount to about 40 billion naira Nigerian money, and the Americans will not want to waste 40 billion naira without getting their target. So for me, I strongly believe that it was a precision-driven missile, even though we have some reports about fragments of the Tomahawk landing in some places like Kwara State and other parts of Sokoto State, like Jabo, for example. But the Nigerian government, today's Monday, I don't think they have any excuse not to brief the Nigerian people first thing this morning when the defense headquarters resumed duty. They should tell the Nigerian people the damage assessment, the impact assessment, and the locality, and especially where the Tomahawk landed, and also show us visuals. It's not about coming to tell us this number of people were killed. So no, they need to show us visuals, because when the Americans launched the precision missile, they showed us visuals how the precision missile took a departure from the U.S. naval ship from the coast of Guinea. So I expect the Nigerian government today to brief us. If they don't brief us, then they are leaving Nigerians to go ahead and start, sharing fake news on what transpired on a Christmas Day.
So I have two questions in one for you, Mr. Osagie, before we take it back to Dr. Mogaji. Is this some form of capitulation on the part of the Nigerian government? Because if you are in serious doubt that this did not not necessarily incapacitate terrorists, or on the other hand, if indeed you're sure, rather, that casualties may have been recorded, perhaps not disclosed, it shows that over the years, the Nigerian government was unable to be decisive politically to rein in on this. So is this some form of capitulation on the part of the Nigerian government? And going forward, how can the sovereignty of Nigeria be protected should, in case there will be more airstrikes, such that perhaps there's some form of agreement in terms of defense to protect Nigeria's sovereignty?
A fantastic question. Frankly speaking, I personally, I wasn't happy when I heard about the bombardment. I'm not happy in the sense that the Nigerian military has been so political with this battle for a very long time. And it's so disturbing that we have the Americans coming in all the way from the United States, even though they, activated their United States African Command to carry out the strike. I think that is somewhat demoralizing of the Nigerian people, that if we have a country like Nigeria, where we have the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Air Force, and they cannot take out this pocket of enemy. I call them pocket of enemy because they are not up to the number of Nigerian soldiers, not about the number of Nigerian Army, Navy, and Air Force. But for me, I think what has been happening so far is simply because the Nigerian military has been carrying out what we call conquer and abandon. When you carry out conquer and abandon engagement against this terrorist group, they keep on regrouping and engaging the state. Conquer and abandon in the sense that each time you conquer any territory, don't abandon such territory to this terrorist group. When you abandon such territory, they will go back, regroup, and start fighting. I can tell you, for example, some locations in Goza, some other locations in the Muslim Triangle in Maiduguri State, majority of those locations were even captured by the Nigerian government far back as 2014. Here we are, 11 years later, these guys are still going back to such environment and, carrying out strikes from such locations. So the Nigerian government should look into conquer and abandon and ensure that whenever you conquer a territory, 3 factors plays out each time you conquer a territory from this terrorist group. You take that territory, you hold the territory, and you build. Building the territory simply implies that there should be, a restoration of governance within that given environment. Then coming back to your capitulation question, for me, I strongly believe that the strike from the U.S. naval ship, the Tomahawk, it's a precision-driven missile. I think it travels about 1,600 kilometers. That is the shooting range of the Tomahawk. If this Tomahawk misses its target, 2 things will be involved. It's either the Nigerian government did not give the United States the exact location of that of the terrorist zone, or maybe the USA will inform the exact location. But if they have the exact location of the enemy's location, and these locations was clearly, intelligently, issued to the U.S. African Command, nothing on earth will make that Tomahawk miss its target. But for me, I said, let's wait this morning. It's just about 8 o'clock now. 9, 10, 11 a.m. maximum. The Nigerian Defense Airport, I actually believe, are planning to brief the Nigerian people on the damage assessment and impact assessment of that Tomahawk. So what has happened so far has put us in a state of shame, in the sense that so I'm looking at it, our military doesn't have the capability to engage this terrorist group. It's not that way. I strongly believe the Nigerian military has the capability. And it's so sad that we're so political about that. But as it is now, since the United States has come on board, we must declare state of emergency in some of these states. I don't see the reason why Borno State has not been declared as a state of emergency. I don't see the reason why a state of emergency has not been declared in the Borno State, Zamfara State, and other terrorist-driven states. I advise the government to declare a state of emergency, so that this coordination between the Nigerian military and the U.S. Forces will go all out in the next 100 days. Wipe out these guys so that we don't live in a state of terrorism, because it is we are living in a state of terrorism.
Mr. Osagie, I wanted to find out from you, could there be a strategy in not disclosing the number of casualties in terms of the number of terrorists killed or the ammunition that are destroyed? Because that should be the biggest win at the end of the day. If, of course, these Tomahawks were fired from the Gulf of Guinea, we've even seen the debris go as far as Jabo, go as far as Kwara State. So a lot of damage was done, because they said this is more like an assembly and regrouping ground for these foreign ISIS members who infiltrate into Nigeria. So if the Nigerian government is not saying anything about casualty figures, nor the American government say anything about casualty figures. Is there a strategy in just being mum on the issue of numbers?
Oh, fantastic, fantastic, Geoffrey. That's not a strategy. In a battlefield, that's what we call deception. You know, for example, if you have 1,000 men, you must make the enemy believe you have 100,000 men. If you don't have arms and ammunition, you must make them believe you have a lot of arms and ammunition. So every given battlefield or in every given situation, deception is one of the lead game. So for me, I don't think the Nigerian government should remain silent. If, for example, it was the military or our government security forces that were being struck by criminal elements, I would agree that, okay, they don't want to release the number of people or carry out, issue the damage assessment of the strike simply because they don't want to demoralize the fighters of the Nigerian forces. But here we have this strike going into the Nigerian enemies then. We need to know the number of people that are being killed. It's not strategy. It's all about, what's it called, demoralizing, demotivating these guys, and also, you know, cutting off their logistics supply. So if the Nigerian government sees this as a strategy, it's not a strategy, it's a failure. What we see as a strategy is not this. What we should be looking at is how to demoralize these guys, because it seems what this Tomahawk has done plays for a role. One, if this Tomahawk actually hits its target, it simply implies that the logistics supply of these guys has been destroyed, their command structure has been in disarray, and also their link has been delinked, and also demoralized and demobilized. So it's not a strategy, Geoffrey. For me, I think we should just wait and see what the government is going to say. If they think it's a strategy, that's a lie. It's not a strategy. We should be looking at demoralizing the terrorist group. And this Tomahawk strike is an effective way to demoralize these guys and also to demotivate them. For me, they must release the number of casualties. If I'm in position, I would have even said that over 100,000 of these terrorist guys have been eliminated. It's going to send a demoralizing a psychological deterrence to would-be fighters. Okay, this Tomahawk has killed about 1,000 fighters. I don't think I'll get myself involved in terrorism. So for me, it's not a strategy. If the Nigerian government fails to release the number of casualties, then they are not being effective in the area of counterterrorism and deceptive methodology.
Let's take it to Mr. Omar. Mr. Omar, I want to stay with you on, just updates. And the first I want to find out from you, are the people of Jabo in the Tambo local government where you are they aware that these are expended munition, not the munition itself? And what is I know you've mentioned it in passing, maybe I missed it, but maybe you can rephrase as to, is there a sense of safety around Jabo area?
Well, of course, you can't actually discountenance the anxiety and the apprehension among the dwellers, simply because this is a very, this is something that actually struck at a time when nobody, expected it. But then, it came at a time when nobody expected this kind of attack, especially from US or from any other command, simply because there was no any information given that people should actually prepare for this, and nobody was in the know of what may actually happen. But then now, 3 days after this strike, I think people have actually gone back to their businesses, still going back to their farms, still going back to their schools, and also, although the schools are on vacation now, they are going back on their normal activities, and they're just waiting for government to actually come in and explain why this happened, what are the motives, who did it, and what are the results. But part of the state, and some communities in the southern part of the state also are reported to have been, exposed to all these activities of bandits and kidnappers. But I want to believe that government has a way of actually making things the way they want. I also want to believe that though the attack actually took place in so many places, because after the incident in Jabo, we also heard that there are places in Tangada and Guru local governments way far away from Jabo that have been struck by the precision missiles, but we have not had actually the the number of casualties. Actually, reported government has not actually done that. But whether the presence of terrorist organizations are there or the command center is in Sokoto, that is a function of intelligence and security organizations. But all I know is that some of the communities in the state and indeed Northwest, Katsina, Zamfara, etc., have been exposed to all these banditry activities for over 10 years. And this has actually, projected the entire region to be an epicenter of conflict and also presence of terrorists and other bandit organizations cannot be actually misconstrued.
Indeed, Dr. Omar, it is great to hear from you, being an indigene of Jabo and also someone who understands interplay of international relations, politics, and all of that. We've been speaking with Dr. Omar Magaji Umar, lecturer, Department of Political Science and International Relations at Sokoto State University, joining us virtually. Thank you for your time on the program, as well as Mr. Dixon Osaje, security analyst and MD Debris Protection Services Limited. Thank you as well, Mr. Osaje. I wish you gentlemen the very best. We'll take a moment now, and when we return, there's a lot of political intrigues unfolding in Rivers State. Where are we right now? We'll find out in a moment. Stay with us.